So social media platforms have really revealed something about most of us as human beings. I think we are mostly consumers and we expect someone to produce content for us. If you just observe people on their smartphones, they are scrolling down, up, they're scrolling up because they're going through their news feeds to see if there's anything interesting. And as soon as they get to something interesting, they stop and they watch. Now you have to think, what has made them stop? What has been so interesting about where they have stopped? And so if you're one of those people who are creating content, you should be thinking about what could make the people going through their social media feeds, what would make them stop at a certain point and decide to interact with your content and not others. And think about why they are passing through others, and think about how they could be doing the same with your content, just passing through it, and then interacting with something which is further down because they're going up. So one of the challenges we have is that we consume a lot, and that's what most people are doing. So it's either but they're also responding and they're also sharing the content which they find to be of value. If they find something to be of value to them, then they would like to share, because we are, as human beings, we are sharing animals, so we will share what we think may be beneficial to those that we are friends with, or we are related to, or people that we like, or people we love. So we're likely to share whatever we think is of benefit to us, then that should also be of benefit to them. So it's quite difficult for someone who wants to create content, because they get so many ideas from all these people who are offering them advice on how to do certain things, and so they continue to consume content at the expense of them actually creating their own content. So the only way to start creating content non-stop is to stop consuming as much content as you're consuming now. If, for example, you're consuming 80% of your content and only 20% is what you're creating, then you should be moving towards that 50-50 mark or ratio, and eventually you should be producing a lot more than you're consuming. So if you can get to 90% creation and 10% consumption, because I think you still need a little bit of consumption for your own motivation. But then again, if you need motivation from somewhere else, then it's more difficult to maintain your own motivation. So motivation should be more intrinsic than extrinsic. It should come from you. You should be motivated. You should motivate yourself to be able to do the things that you want done. Okay, so let's look at that ratio again. So I know there are people who actually gone on to 100% content creation, and the only consumption they are doing is when they interact with their audience, because it is their audience who know what they want from that content creator, and so they get ideas by interacting with their audience on the various social media platforms. So I think that's something that you could be looking at if you are looking into content creation. Otherwise, social media just feels like a waste of time, because yes, you're wasting time if all you're doing is consuming what other people are creating, because while you're consuming, they're making something out of it. They could even be making money out of the content that you're consuming, and you are losing money and you're losing time, especially time. And I think the best advice I can give is interact with your audience. So if you're making a video, for example, and what you get is, let's say that you get, as you are interacting, you get some comments, then you're better off interacting with those comments, because those are the people, or those are the comments that will inform your next videos. Okay, let me just see what this does. Chat viewing options, program, show live chat messages. Yeah, okay, so there are no live chat messages at the moment. And what does that do? Mute microphone, share. No, okay, so I'll finish this one right here. But just to summarize a little bit, you should be creating more content than you are consuming, because everyone has an equal shot at creating content and speaking to the world and building their own capital on digital.